It's on air libel. Libel? What the hell does that mean?
The Mad Drummer. Libel.
Libel. There was an L on the end, and it was like libel. But I'm not sure what happened there.
Has anyone really actually confirmed that Stephen Hawkins actually died or something like that?
I don't think so,
It's
James.
another false report, eh?
Yeah, uh, I would question that. I would be like, okay, perhaps, or something. You know, I mean, really, really, come on, come on.
Come on, come on.
Yeah, it's something where you look at it and you watch it, and some people, including myself, just think, no, I'm sorry.
Have we got 100
Just
viewers
me.
yet? We've been up almost 2 minutes.
No,
Streaming
no, James. Nobody watches me. You've got to understand this.
Oh, I watch you when I get a
we,
chance. I don't always talk, but I certainly do like your channels and stuff. I like
well,
that.
FPV, FPV. Whoops, was that a delay or something? James, hello, hello, hello. Yeah, FPV Angel, great channel. Just go and chill out and listen to the tunes. Perhaps if he is on, he will play whatever tune you want. Um, awesome channel, awesome channel. Just to kind of chill out a little bit. Just listen to some good tunes. As James will rejoin here shortly. Oh boy, here we go. I can only imagine where this is going. Oh boy. Dun, 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 dun. I see Perrin out there. Yes, and Teddy, Kathleen, several, obviously. Yes. Yeah, actually, 24/7 live streaming actually started. Pretty funny how FPV and I met, and just doing 24 live and doing different jams and stuff like that. It was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed it emphatically, and I am not sure if he is awake. It's I believe let's see, it's almost 8:30 his time, 9 o'clock his time right now. Pretty cool. Oh, James, you actually put the link out there? Hello, James. Hello. You. See if that works. I am not sure. I would hope that that would work and see what happens. And I am alone. James has actually dropped out. Jibby, no. It's actually quite funny. I could actually hear him saying that too. It's quite funny. I can actually, hear Jimmy in the background, like, "You suck, you suck." Yeah, but how do you like my drawing? It's actually kind of funny. Why are you streaming me on Candy's channels? Are you serious? That makes no sense. There's no content. We are just here, and Jimbo is here. Was here. He'll be back soon. And no one else is here. Okay, so what should I talk about? Let's see.
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Oh yeah. Oh, please, really? I opened the Hangout because everybody was like, "Hey, just do something."
Whee! Hi.
Oh, crap! It's Felix. Oh crap!
Swinging through the window.
Oh boy.
Oh, Jibby's here. Oh man, okay.
Well, no, he's actually using the bathroom right now, so he'll be back.
Will he bring you a beer?
Do I have beer? Of course I do.
I just saw some of the funniest stuff just now.
I can't imagine what you just saw. I can't imagine.
Well, I was watching. Pancho had a really short hangout earlier, and I was watching it, and it's called "I Go Coffee" now.
Yeah, I saw that. How was it? I was on Candies. And at the end there, I had to snipe Candy because they all fell asleep, and then Ace went to bed, so I sniped Candy, and during the last 5 minutes, I streamed Larry.
Oh, what? Wait, what?
What?
Over at Candies. Candy fell asleep, Zulu fell asleep, Brian fell asleep, and it was just me and Ace. Ace had to go. I shouted out to Candy. She didn't say anything. She still had 3 hours left on the Hangout, so I just sniped Candy. So in the last 5 minutes, I streamed you. I ran over. I said, everybody, thanks for coming. And please enjoy our other Flat Earth channels. Let's see who's live right now in this Infinite Plane Society, running 200 and something. You've been exposed, running at 140. You got ODDs 24/7. There's a couple of others, and then there's Larry with like one watching.
No matter how much is out there, we can still do something that's different and new and important there, Jibby. Toy Rocket, Toy Rocket, Toy Rocket.
Exactly. So I go to Larry and I stream Larry's, and I'm like, I recommend everybody come to Lullaby Larry's for your.
Yeah, you got a chance to see my right nipple. Yeah,
Poor Dave. All he wanted to do was play some ukulele in the sunset, and he got nippled.
Yeah, and I want people to really feel like they're missing something if they don't go to Dave Hawaii's.
Actually, Dave's a cool cat, man.
I know. Next time he's up, I'll show my left nipple. Toy rockets. Jibby, we got to go over a rocket, me and you together here at Larry's, and look at something. A toy rocket. Some real problems with the so-called solid rocket engines. Did you look at the transparent rocket?
Yeah.
Now, you did notice that the biggest strength comes just a few seconds after it's lit.
Yep.
And then forever after that, it's actually losing strength. And in fact, by the time it gets down to about, I don't know, maybe 4/6 of the fuel consumed, it peters right out. It can't even though there's lots of fuel left, it can't even sustain a jet.
What, are you actually accounting also for the loss of weight as that fuel is ejected?
Yes, but the pressure to propel, look, as the fuel burns, it's creating void or space. It has the space of all the previous void to fill before it reaches the exhaust.
That's true.
So that surface that's burning is the same size throughout the solid
right,
rocket
because
burn.
it's burning that from the bottom up, not from the top down, and then it has that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's literally it's good at first, initially, and then it's downhill all the way from there.
I get exactly what you're saying.
Now you know they're useless. Not only they don't work in space anyway, but as far as power and efficiency, they're inefficient. I knew that. I've sent up rockets all my life with the Candy Sugar. They really don't go as high or as far, no matter how much. We could go up to 5 inches.
Alternative fuel, Candy Sugar, alternative fuels?
Sugar fuel. Yeah, you'd make potassium nitrate,
rockets with that stuff.
and sugar, and a little bit of iron filing to make it more powerful, and you can get rockets up to 15 miles up, 12 miles up.
What?
Here in Canada, with no license, I have to get permission for rockets, but any rocket under 5 inches, you don't need a license to launch it. You just have to. It's true. You just have to make sure that you have clearance from air traffic control and a few authorities, permission to do the launch. You don't need a permit. But 5-inch rocketry in Canada is legal with no license here. How big do you think that Go Fast rocket was?
So you use sugar water?
Not sugar water. You melt sugar molten in the oven with potassium nitrate mixed in it, and it turns into a thick kind of goo, but it'll pour. So you can pour it into a tube.
I mix sugar and potassium nitrate. Now,
carefully.
How long do I bake it for?
You don't actually bake it. You heat it just enough to melt all the ingredients together. Any hotter, it might flash over because you have an oxidizer with the combustible there. So it's ready to go.
Before I try this, because I might need some.
You mix like oxidants with agents very carefully. This one is an explosive, basically a fuel that you have to heat to prepare. So basically, you cook it very gently. You melt it. You stir it carefully, and when it's just right, it'll be a little brown, but not dark brown. You're heating too much if it goes dark brown. Look like brown sugar, light. Not even medium brown sugar.
Okay, so do you use like Domino's light brown sugar, light brown cane sugar?
No, you use white sugar. You use white sugar, And when you
Okay.
bake white sugar or heat it, it's going to turn a bit brown. It caramelizes a bit.
Oh, so when it starts to turn the color.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and it
okay.
melts. It actually melts into a kind of thick liquid, right? Almost a syrup.
Okay.
And when it's all mixed and melted, you can pour the stuff into a tube. Your
To a toy
rockets are
rocket.
into a toy rocket. And then
Oh,
it
I think I
hardens,
may
and now you have your solid rocket fuel. And
Now, do you have
ready
to
go.
like put a cap on it or something on the bottom? I mean, do you have to
You
seal it
can
up?
they,
Or just
they
pour it?
sell, or you can make your own. If you know how to fire a little bit of ceramic, you make your own little ceramic nozzle. If you don't, you can use plaster of Paris or other compounds. They're not as
Oh, okay.
good,
I
but
was
if they
thinking that you
resist,
pour the
they'll do the
fluid
job.
into the rocket and like maybe put a grommet thing in it and close it
Yeah,
off.
you pour the fluid in, and then you put your little nozzle. And then
Oh,
a
okay.
wick goes through that nozzle, ignites the fuel, and forces all the air through that little nozzle.
Now, is this kind of similar to the Mentos and Diet Coke? Or, I mean, this is a
No,
little
no,
bit
no.
more
This is
involved.
an actual rocket.
It's in
This
the oven.
fire comes out of the bottom of the rocket, and it goes up, and if it's too rich, it could actually explode. In fact, as it's burning, if there's too much pressure, it will explode.
Oh,
So,
dear.
yeah, it's
right, so
rockets. It's real explosives and stuff.
Now, after you get it out of the oven, I mean, how long do you got to get outside and pour it into
No,
the rocket?
you don't go outside to pour it. You pour your tube because it'll cool off and harden. You pour it right away out of the oven. Pour it right
Okay,
into your
so
rocket.
I run outside with the pan that I just took out
You
of the
don't
oven.
run. Don't run with hot stuff. Don't run. You take it out of the oven. You have your rocket tube there with you by the oven.
Oh, okay, I got that.
You
All right.
pour it. You fill up the tube. And you insert your little orifice.
And then you get the hell outside, right?
Well, then you let it cool off and set, so it's room temperature, a few hours, and then you can send up your rocket.
Well, how do you send it up? You have to ignite it, right?
Yes. A wick, just like a firecracker wick you can use.
Okay, so what do I use for a wick? Can I just use dental floss or unwicked dental floss or?
No, you should use, if you can buy fireworks where you are, they all have wick material. And
We just shove a firecracker in there too?
No, just the wick.
So I have to take a firecracker apart to get the wick out. What if I
if
get
you
any of
wanna
this material
salvage
on my
wick.
hands? So I need gloves now. Now I need
Not
gloves.
really. No, gloves for the heat. You don't want to have hot sugar on your
Right, and then
skin.
I have to take that
But
out of the oven.
The other stuff, like touching the wick of a firecracker, ain't gonna hurt you or poison you or
I
nothing
just
like
didn't want to
that.
get this stuff on my hands, when I go to ignite the toy rocket, I just put the gloves back on when I take the firecracker apart. Yeah.
Is Larry still here, or has he left and not said a word and just abandoned his own
Larry
hangout with
has
us?
left.
Oh, there he
No,
is.
he's in the kitchen. He's in the kitchen right now making a toy
No,
rocket.
I'm making a joke that this is
I'm here.
that this is Larry's new trend. Is he just leaves his own hangout and we're stuck with the show and he doesn't say goodbye and stuff.
No, unfortunately, I had a power surge or something, and everything.
Larry's been having storms tonight, and it's happened to me, and it's not easy.
Well, I could tell.
I know
him
the
what to do
Fibonacci
with
sequence,
rhubarb.
Larry. Don't do it.
You wouldn't know the magic of rhubarb, but we'll get into that some other day.
Delquaz has rhubarb wine.
No, wait, back up. Not a rhubarb thing. No, I lost power. Earlier, I was having a hangout, and it just went off, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on?"
It's the trolls. They found your power supply.
All right, Larry. I'm going to
local
activate the Fibonacci sequence. Oh,
As
we got
Jimmy
fibbing.
knows, I had no power last night, and I was sitting in the dark.
Yeah, Chibi Jedi. Did you see the Slinky?
Yeah. Yep.
Falling and staying stationary at the bottom where...
Yeah, that is a freakish phenomenon.
Not just freakish. Here's a few things that it eliminates. the Flat Earth Society with their upward motion of 9.8 meters per second or whatever, that's out the window. Earth is not moving upward. When they did the, what was that thing with the lights? They called it to check for spin on the Earth and everything. Oh, Michelson-Morley. That stupid slinky is a Michelson-Morley experiment. Look, it not only proves that the Earth's not moving upward, there's no rotation, because if there was rotation, that Coriolis effect would move underneath that stationary slinky. Unless, like they say, the Earth above, or the air above the Earth has been moving at the same speed because it's all been moving together for 5,000 years. Well, that doesn't explain why the slinky decides to join that party.
I would like to know what the scientific community has to say about that. It is interesting.
The thing is, one of the laws of constants of proportionality is that gravity is a constant, and it applies equal force on all parts of a body or object. Apparently not on the bottom of this slinky. So it flies in the face of the Coriolis effect. It proves the Earth is not rotating. It's in the air for a second or two. A bullet, they claim they have to calculate, drift and everything from Coriolis effect. How fast is a fucking bullet going? This slinky ain't going that fast.
They will say that the slinky is moving with the atmosphere.
But the only reason the Earth's atmosphere is moving with the Earth is because it's been doing it for 1 billion years. That slinky hasn't been suddenly incorporated into 1 billion years of history.
I think they're going to say, like, it's surrounded by all the air molecules or whatever that they all move relative to each other.
Now, slinkies make excellent bracelets, but use the plastic ones because the metal ones tend to pinch your arm hairs.
Yeah, the metal ones, in some places they were actually banned because if you get them sideways, they cut you like your butter. I mean, some toys are just, they're fun, they're nice if you use them right, but if you don't, they're harmful.
The toys of the 70s were dangerous and full of lead. I loved it.
So much fun.
Remember
They were heavy.
Remember these things called clackers? They were two glass balls.
Oh, yeah, the
big string.
I had those.
A string in the middle and a little pin to hold on to, and you'd smack the balls up and forth, and they'd clack up and down. But so much energy they'd blow apart, and people get glass in their eyes and everything. They banned them. Lawn darts. Well, a couple of people got lawn darts in the head, and it looked pretty good, but they banned them anyway.
Yeah, man, darts are fun, man. Darts are great. If you can get
lawn darts are banned in Canada. They're illegal. I mean,
big giant. Yeah, you
if
get
the cops see you playing lawn darts, they'll come and they'll get an order. They'll come and seize them.
I think adults can play with lawn darts. I think they're banned for children.
Well, they're illegal in Canada, so you can't even sell them at a yard sale. They're illegal.
Wow.
I'm going on eBay. I'm going to look for freaking darts.
Hey, man. Hey, psst, psst. Hey, you want some lawn darts? No way, man. I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, but Canadian jail is like a resort.
It's not like where Martin lives. It's like some scary dungeon in a Victorian place.
Oh, boy.
Oh, is Larry still here? All right, good to see
Hi,
him
Larry.
still here. He hasn't checked out.
Yeah. Jay, shut the hell up.
Oh, I got a bucket full of ball busting, Larry. I'm sorry. But
I know.
I gotta go. Did you hear my rant on the microphone, Jibby?
No.
Okay, now a microphone.
The microphone for rants?
Jibby, does air qualify as a gas? Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely yes. Can carbon dioxide hold up an object?
Yes.
Yeah, pressurized.
A microphone? Yeah, we're talking at normal atmospheric pressure.
Okay.
Oh, well then no.
Can nitrogen hold up a microphone?
No.
Can nitrogen and oxygen hold up a microphone?
No.
Nope.
Then Neil deGrasse is full of shit and a fraud. You see, You know, when they say a body at rest stays at rest till another force acts upon it, it's true. That little happy microphone was tripping away and just enjoying its little self, trying to get some feedback and having a good old time. And then, well, this guy comes up, grabs it, freaks out, and at the end of his freak out, holds it midair and expects the air somehow to hold it up. And when it doesn't, he says, "There, you see? That's gravity, bitch." Well, bitch named Tyson, that's not gravity. That's stupidity. Because air, the stuff we breathe, is a gas, and it's very thin. And that gas cannot hold up the microphone that you gave potential energy, you imbecile. Who do you think you're fooling? But anyway, that's
How about
more or
those
less-
balloons that are half deflated and they don't go up or down? They kind of stay, like as soon as you let them go, they just stay there because
Yeah.
it's just the right amount in them.
Let's throw gravity in there. Look,
Yeah.
here's an equation that they throw gravity in. Free fall. You know what the formula for free fall is? 32
yeah,
or
9.8
meters per second
or something.
squared. Where's gravity in
Yes.
that formula? There is no gravity in that formula. And it's not only whatever 9.8 meters squared or whatever. It's till terminal velocity, 32 feet per second squared, till the object reaches the fastest speed it can attain because of resistance of wind and other stuff. So that speed for different objects is different, the terminal velocity of a falling object. It's not
And
uniform.
It just kind of goes kaput because
Well, there's
air-
there's no gravity is my point in the formula, you know. How
it
about
has to slow
force?
down.
Force equals mass times acceleration. There was one chat going on where they were trying to say this Glober that acceleration is gravity. No, it's not. Acceleration is a force. It has nothing to do with gravity.
Wow,
Nope,
so
it'd
that
be in the
means when
formula.
you
They're
first
idiots.
when you first jump off the pier, you go slow, but then you have to go faster according to them. So you
Well,
hit the wall.
you do. You accelerate at 32 feet per second squared till you hit terminal velocity. For a falling person, it can be over 200 miles an hour. You know, if you belly
If it's
flop,
terminal,
it'll limit your.
It could be terminal. I mean, you
Certainly
know.
would be. Even for the bowels, that would be the terminal end of your bowels.
It would be.
Moving right along.
But like, what if you had a brick tied to your foot or something like that, and then
A
you
what tied to your foot?
a brick, and then you hit the water?
Is it a European brick or a North American brick?
Wait a second. You got a brick tied to your foot? What the hell you are?
not literally. No, I'm just thinking.
Well, here's the thing. With the
Scenario.
yo-yo, I don't know if you ever saw the one where they did the yo-yo with the tennis ball at the bottom besides just the yo-yo.
No, I've only seen Stephen's video.
Even with the not the yo-yo, I'm sorry, the slinky.
Okay, Slinky.
Even if you added a brick to the slinky, the brick will stay in midair and not move.
So what are we using? Super glue?
No, there's no gravity to pull it down. There's no equal force called gravity pulling down the bottom of that
That's-
slinky and the
That's
tennis
the-
ball or
that-
other weight
that's
that's
a-
there.
Yeah, that's the point. It's electromagnetic. It's not gravity. It's electromagnetic. It's something totally different.
Yeah,
than we
'cause
thought.
like I say, when it was just a slinky, that's one thing, okay? But add an extra weight to the bottom of that slinky, and it still has the same effect. It doesn't move till the top half comes to and forces it past or forces it down. You know? So it could be the slinky, and you add a book to the bottom of it. Do the same experiment. Book don't fall.
Yeah.
So it's not about the
No.
slinky and the extra measurement. That so-called force that is supposed to exert an equal amount of force on all objects or on an object does not, apparently. So it's like everything. Selective Coriolis for planes, bullets, and rockets. Selective gravity. Everything's selective for the heliocentric system. surrounded by convolution, and again, that stupid nonsense they call gravity, which is a theory from 500 years, and 500 years they couldn't prove a theory.
That's actually pretty impressive. 500 years and
No proof.
Yes,
Not just 500 years, probably 20 to 50 billion dollars spent just by CERN to find gravitrons. And guess how many they found?
None.
Not a zilch. None.
Yeah.
You know, like I said,
exactly.
when I hear people going off about, like, you know, some of the stuff that I ranted about earlier, all these new age, the moon is putrefying. Don't walk with your girlfriend out in the moonlight. You'll come back looking like God knows what, you know, and smelling putrid or something. No, like I say, in my chicken example, I'll take my chicken out under a full moon, and you take your chicken out under the sun, and we'll see what putrefies and burns and cooks and is all fucked up faster by what, sunlight or this putrefying moonlight that happens to only be, you know, a day or two a month that it's actually a full fucking moon.
Can you use a pre-plucked chicken?
Yeah, but not a German pre-plucked chicken, because the guy's in jail now. The chicken plucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
But no,
Larry,
you know,
well, this is
you
a
haul
part
out
of
your
the,
chicken, and I'd rather have my chicken under the moonlight, especially if I had to cook it later on a barbecue. I'd trust my chicken that was an hour in the moonlight more than I'd trust my chicken an hour in the sunlight. Mine would have less bacteria.
James in about 2 hours in the moonlight.
If we're complaining and we're here because NASA lies and bullshits and astrophysicists lie and bullshit. And what are we getting into the flat earth? Lies and bullshit.
Yep.
Because giant trees are, for now, lies and bullshit. Putrefying moons are lies and bullshit. Ether, it makes fucking flat earthers dummies because they make them think they sound like they're smart because they're saying Tesla, ether. And it's part of the bullshit we're trying to get away from. So unless you can bring me a glass of fucking ether, shove Tesla and his ether up your ass, you don't even know how to interpret what was meant by ether at the time.
I talk about the
learn what
Ethernet.
real ether is.
The
Anyway, I'm
Ethernet.
just going overboard. Yeah. Ether means it's like a gas. That's all it means. You don't see it. You don't feel it. You don't smell it. Yet it's powerful.
Unlike
Ether
Larry's
makes more
farts.
sense.
Yeah.
A binding fucking universal transmitter of all energy. And well, fuck off with your ether. Show me some. Give me a cup. Like black holes. Show me one. Give me real proof. Or they don't
A
exist.
spoonful of ether makes Jim's medicine go down.
But like I say, I'm fighting hard to get away from the bullshit. I don't want to hear a lot about the moon is putrefying. I don't want to hear a lot about the ether and how no one actually knows or saw or touched it. And your flat earthers want to bring that into the fucking melee? For what? To sound as fucking retarded as fucking astrophysicists with their lies? Fuck
James,
off with it.
I was rummaging around in my fireworks box here, and don't even need firecrackers. All I have is a star shower. It'll be a larger wick. How much do I have to cut it down?
A what?
Somebody take the lighters away from Felix so she doesn't blow up the house. She's gonna do some Kurt Saxon underground survivalist rocket now.
Yeah, some kind of pocket rocket or something like that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I was just gonna use this toy rocket that I have.
You're oh boy.
We were discussing earlier on candies. Ace and I were trying to discuss the ISS. You know, there is a lot of bullshit going on in flat Earth. So we were trying to just like advance forward. Like, what is this ISS really? And just trying to expand upon it. They obviously constructed the soda can fort to be a somewhat representation of whatever this luminary is.
Uh-huh.
to make it look like, okay, well, we've established the ISS is all bullshit. Now we're stuck with what is this thing? And I'm pretty sure this light is also what was known as the Black Knight satellite, which was much
We
further
don't
away
hear
at a
about
time.
that Black Knight satellite no more,
Yeah,
do
what's
we?
it made of? Because it's shining now, and before it looked like
It's brighter. It's like it's getting closer.
Well,
Now,
they
when
said
it was
they-
Mir, when it
they
was
said
Mir and
that-
Skylab, it was a dot. Now it's brighter.
Yeah, I don't believe it, but they said that was some type of TARP from one of their space missions, that so-called Black Knight. Yeah, I don't believe it. That's not what I'm saying, but that's their excuse for it.
it looked
yeah.
like a rock. All the pictures I've seen of it, taken at high altitude.
Looked like a satellite, just a different design of a satellite to me.
That thing is definitely not a satellite. It's,
No,
it's
satellite's
likely a
so-
luminary.
That could be. It could be part of what's up there and out there. I know. I saw it a few times on videos, but I never really looked into it too much because it, I know there's a lot of reflections, lights, other stuff. It looks like material. Don't necessarily mean it is.
Well, we got to figure out what it is now because we figured out what it's not.
Yeah.
We got that out of the way. And I'm not going to sit there and argue about it anymore and the validity of it. It's done. It's done. We got a mountain of
But it's
preponderance of
very
evidence
likely,
to show
yeah.
fakery.
Oh, no question. No question. Right, A to Z, the whole thing is a
Right.
fake.
And we wasted 2 years proving it's bullshit. Now we got to figure out what this thing is now because they obviously are going through all this trouble to make us think it's a soda can fort for a reason. They don't want us to know what it is. Why?
Look, they have balloons that are as big as football fields up there. That's as big
they
as the
stand
shuttle
outward that big.
at the
This is
ISS.
definitely not that. This is not ours.
Oh,
This
okay.
thing is not does not belong to us, but they created something to make us think it is. It is not ours. This is a luminary. This is a celestial. This is an Illuminati, an illuminated one. Whatever these things mean, this is what this thing is. It has to be.
And they're
It's not a
passing it off as
drone.
the
It's not
ISS.
any of that shit. It's
And it
not
has
a
mobility.
plane.
It can come and go at will almost.
It seems to be getting closer, as well as the planets. The planets are getting
if-
brighter.
The lights that are so-called planets.
Exactly. The luminaries in the sky are getting brighter by the year. People are noticing, wow, it's so bright. Yeah, it is getting brighter. I noticed Jupiter was super bright in 2008. Never like I've seen before. But I was paying extra special attention to the sky then. And wow, and then Venus this year. How ridiculously bright was that? Like an hour or two before sunset. The thing's sitting up in the sky, in a blue sky, bright as hell, and it was only 10% illuminated.
And it was phased. Yeah, I caught a half. It was a half Venus, and it was like, man, it looks like a street lamp, and it's up in the sky.
And
know?
it's
So
sitting right there
in the
in the
house.
atmosphere. It looked like.
yeah, I grabbed my ephemeris. I look at where. Oh wow, okay, I see where it's placed and everything. I'm like, that's dang Venus, man. That's Venus. And so I I got the camera on and like,
Now, if these things get any closer,
yeah.
I have a feeling like all of this shit about superstorms and all these tidal waves could be happening because of these
There was
things.
a
Now,
cloud
you
going in front of it, so it defined it even more when I zoomed in on it. Then my battery went dead. So then the next night it was out there, and the battery was charged, and Dave went out there and shot it, and it was really a clear night, and it was like sparkling, like you would expect a star to sparkle. But I mean, it looked like it was between the moon and the water tower. Like it looked that close.
it looks very close. Now, this ISS gets much closer. It's going to start to have an electrical effect on the clouds. Once it starts getting close to atmospheric gas,
Oh, nice! And they've got all this
traveling that
metal up
fast is
there.
going to create a friction. That's going to create an electrical charge. It'll be a discharge into the clouds. Now you have arc lightning scraping the ground.
Oh yeah, with
That could be
lithium in the
bad.
clouds. Yeah, that ought to be nice view.
Well,
And
I
that's-
think
we need to get the hell out of here.
I think the Libyan desert glass and stuff was formed by exactly that, electroplasma hitting the earth from above, from the sky. I think the eye of the Sahara, the sun fell down. The sun came that close that it burned that.
Or it
all
was
the-
these things.
Or these
creating
things.
some kind of arc lightning when they get close. Now, this thing is on a set clocked schedule, all of these things. And are they getting closer? And do they get to a certain close where even like the Bible says, the stars fell? Are they going to get that close? Now it's going to create superstorms, tidal waves, because it's going to this ISS is really moving ass. Like it is going fast, and it's going to, when it gets low enough to hit atmospheric gases, you're going to create a friction. This thing is already generating its own kind of power in a way. For it to be that light, that bright, that's a lot of energy that it when it comes in contact with the atmosphere, it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
and they don't want us to panic, I think, and this is why they want us to think it's a soda can for it, because as this thing makes each pass, it gets lower and lower and lower and lower and brighter as they all do. So is this the blue Kachina?
Don't know.
Spiderwebs in the sky during the end times. We have that in the chemtrails.
Like
blue Kachina will come and mark the end of days or whatever. And this blue Kachina, this thing is blue.
Well, when I was doing a little bit of pinhole with the pinhole lens and doing the sun, I could see all kinds of objects that look, and multicolored too, around the sun, like 7, 8, that look like planets. And they looked really close to the sun and well within our so-called solar system. If they were actually planets, I mean, like they say, don't you think that'd be causing upheaval and devastation? And
oh, hells yeah. And certain comets, like Comet Neat in 2003, if you go look at the Comet Neat NASA images, the thing was the size of the sun. And allegedly, NASA didn't tell us because they thought we were all going to die. And this thing was so huge, it was going to pull all the planets out of the orbits and all this shit. This was the story that went on. And it came, the sun chucked a solar flare at it on the NASA Atari graphics. And this thing was making a hook around the sun. The sun kind of swatted it. And then, boom, it went another direction. And we were all saved. But nobody heard about this Comet Neat. But you go look at this thing and you take into account the corona and everything. This thing is as big as the sun on their graphics.
Well, at one point they had this thing looked like it was siphoning energy, like a round disk or something beside the sun, and a whirlpool of whatever going down to it. Stayed there for, I guess, hours, and then it pulled away. But that's NASA's graphics. There's nothing.
That's exactly right. I took them seriously back then, but no, obviously you can't. But we're dealing with this thing. I'm thinking this is the blue Kachina.
Yeah.
It's not some mystical, whacked out bullshit. It's probably been always here, but it's very dim. It was dim a long time ago, but they knew they plotted out how long it would take for how many rotations or whatever it is before it gets too low. And so this could be what all of this, what do they call it? Not the compromising of government, but the contingency, or they have the contingency plans for all this to dig in the underground shit, because if this thing gets close and there's arc lightning and all this stuff, well, underground is the safest place to go.
I hope it. Well, if you're in a Faraday cage, otherwise the ground's going to conduct it too.
This could be part of the chemtrailing, and the chemtrailing could be saving us by bouncing this electrical discharge back up.
No, electricity, it's like water. If it has a path it wants to follow, it's going to follow that path. It don't care what's in its way.
But we don't know the recipe of the chemtrails.
Yeah, we do know
they're
some of
pretty
them have
varied,
lithium.
They have, a whole bunch of shit they pour down on us.
They got lithium.
It could be buying us time.
A battery.
I'm sure of tons of aluminum, lots of barium, lots of strontium, you name it.
But now if this shit is in the chemtrails and it's all over the ground, cumulatively piling up in layers, it's also partial ingredients of thermite. Yeah. So if this thing comes down in arc lightning, that's going to get all lit up.
Well, they know the forest fires burn a lot hotter now. It's all the aluminum and all the...
Yeah, it's all the partial thermite ingredients in these things. Yeah, that's exactly right.
They crown hotter. It's recorded.
They kill off half the trees and then they set them on fire and they burn faster. Then they use the carbon
sequestration to create rain, because there is no real weather left on this earth.
I think our attention needs to get focused onto this thing right now because this is the closest luminary
I know.
and
I've
it's
been
getting
looking at
brighter, and we need to focus on this to figure out what it is because they're not telling us. They don't want to create a panic. I kind of
Right.
don't blame them for that because people
But
are
some of
idiots.
us monkeys
Well,
are
you know, yeah, you know, the way I see it, what happens happens. They've given us so much shit to have a fit over and worry about. I mean, it's like the boy with his finger calling wolf or whatever in a dam leak or
Oh,
whatever.
shit. And then
It's
there's
the same
microwave
shit.
towers. too.
I'm sick of it. I don't fall for it no more. Sure, there's a light in the sky. There's a light on my table here. I can move it closer. Oh, it's not going to hurt me though. Do you know what I'm saying? We're
Oh well,
fearing
I
what?
never cry
Something
wolf,
that.
so I don't. I'm not a cry
I
wolfer.
don't know about
I
you.
don't
You're
think there's
like,
any doom, but there's
I'm
some concerned. This has
My-
got me concerned just because of the sheer amount of energy this thing must have to be visible.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
You know, if it's a sonoluminescent thing, then you know if
What
the
is that
sound.
music? Oh, son of a bitch! Stupid video was playing. All right, it's not a sonoluminescence because they only come in one color, and all of the stars are all different colors. That can't be sonoluminescence. They don't come in multicolors.
Yeah, that's true. Because
It seems to be a dead end, like other things are dead ends, and I'm sick of dead ends that don't go anywhere. Where we sit and speculate. Well, could
Well,
it be
yeah,
this? Could
like if it's a machine, and I believe it is a construct, like I say, we never see meteorites come from the bottom up, from the horizon up towards.
No, we know that, but there's something above us already.
and it's got enough power that hitting the gases in the atmosphere at that speed will create a friction, and electrical discharge will occur.
Then we don't see a tail on this thing right now. If it was all
I
that
did. Well,
You
no,
saw
I
a
saw it
tail?
on Venus actually. I didn't see
You
a
saw
tail on
that
this.
too?
I saw a tail on Venus. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was wow. Okay.
You have to leave the contrast a little bright though to see the tail on Venus. If you do what I do with a little P900 trick to lower the contrast level so you can see the sliver, you kind of lose sight of the tail. But as you brighten it, there comes that tail. It forms like a tail, and I've done this on multiple nights, so it's not smearing of the lens or any of that, creating a smudged tail.
Because I can do that with my Sony that I got.
Well, I went to go look up, see if anyone else is seeing a tail on Venus, and I came across the comet Venus. All kinds of literature about the comet Venus. I'm like,
Well,
what?
yeah, Velikovsky called it a comet and said it had a
Okay,
tail.
well, it may be something to it because I saw a tail. I don't know.
All planets probably got a tail. If our Van Allen belts doesn't look somewhat like a tail,
Right. And if they're
actually
traveling
real.
through water and it is some kind of a, I don't know,
think
like
they're
a
traveling
sparkly, if it's a sparkly traveling through water, it will leave a tail behind it.
I think it's traveling through water.
Ball lightning, for instance, traveling through water, wouldn't that leave some kind of electrical
I've
tail
seen
behind it?
I don't know. I've never actually seen ball lightning go through water per
I've
se.
only seen it through the air.
Usually, when electricity and including ball lightning or plasma go through water, it dissociates some of it to hydrogen and oxygen. You get a lot of gas and bubbling.
And it would leave a trail. That
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
ground up.
it
you
should leave a trail.
And from the ground looking up, you can tell the little children, oh, that's a big snowball.
Yeah.
And that's the melted tail behind it, when it's probably some electrical discharge through water.
Well, walk around with a grounding rod if you're worried. And
I
a
would
hammer.
probably head to the mountain cave, the nearest mountain cave, and that'll be my bug out
the
location. I don't know about you guys.
ferromagnetic mountain that you can find.
I don't know,
Oh,
maybe
yeah, I
I can
don't-
dig a tunnel into this big giant hill I live on.
Because there's some of those mountain ranges are all iron, literally almost pure iron.
And the way this thing travels fast, if it creates drag on top of all the electrical discharge, you're going to
Yeah.
have winds like probably
Like the wind
300 or so miles per hour.
Look, we have those already when the jet.
We got them
stream-
at top of Mount
come-
Washington. The highest winds were recorded were like 250 miles per hour.
Well, even in the Adirondacks, I guess it was.
That's part of it, I think.
They-
Mount Washington.
Really,
is-
they got a wind shear that came down from the jet stream that got forced down to ground level. It flattened trees for like a mile wide by miles long.
And the way this thing moves in the sky, you get that thing lower and it creates a drag. It will create winds very fast. It's going to pretty much take everything with it.
Well, 300
caves
mile
are
an
the
hour
best
wind.
option.
We don't have anything that can withstand a 300-mile wind. There's nothing.
No, you're going to have to go to a
Nothing.
cave.
Not even a super high rise. It's not going to.
No, you might be okay underground pretty far with some shit above you that might hold, and you kind of got you're gonna need some earth in between you and what's above.
Like I say, if I go in some type of natural disaster, at least it's a natural disaster. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe this wind.
I'm getting
Hey, maybe this
I'm not
wind.
gonna worry. I'd rather be more concerned, and it's probably not
Dude,
going to happen. But
think about
the
this
state
wind
is
is
more of a
maybe-
danger than this light in the sky right now.
What's the thing that they call the ascension? Well, if this thing comes whizzing by, people are gonna fly up into the air as the ascension.
Unless you're in your cave.
Unless you're in the cave, which I'll probably be in the
I'm
cave.
so glad I paid Bob. I hope
And
you-
then in the beginning, what
first.
happened? We had cavemen. Ah,
Oh, history is repeating.
You know, want to hear something
Oh.
really funny? In
and you live to
Ottawa,
be 1,000 years old anyway.
they found there's a bunch of people that dig little caves and stuff and make shelters underground. And apparently it's not illegal in Ottawa to dig a little cave and do what
the
you want
cycle's
with
about
it.
to end and repeat. I will become the first modern day caveman again. That's it.
Well, you already look like one with a beard. And
There you
everything.
go.
Well,
I'm selling Geico insurance. The caveman. That's right.
Jibby's been practicing, and so have I, fasting and like kind of going without food.
Jibby
Oh
would
yeah,
use
I'm
the
getting ready.
force and just move that object back into its orbit, and that's all there is to it.
Well, that's just it. I'm going to need a lot of Jedi. It's not. It's too big for just me.
Just, turn to that Jibby juice and just get her done.
I can do like small stuff. I don't know about an object that big. I can knock tree branches down and stuff like that. Turn water green and set off fire alarms. But I don't know about moving a thing that big.
I can hang a wet towel on my towel bar.
Dude, I'm serious though. This is it's just too many clues like falling together for me, putting this puzzle together.
Yeah, well, what if this light was part of the psychological operation where they're using?
No, it's
3D?
not.
And I know, but what if?
Because we're not repeating anything. We're not being fed anything to parrot. We're figuring this shit out for ourselves.
Yeah. Nobody's suggested to me this ISS is the Blue Kachina. Nobody suggested to me that this is the luminary.
No, I like
These are
that
things
idea
I've come to on my
because,
own.
like I say, I believe very much in a lot of the things ancient cultures and stuff put down. They weren't stupid people. If they said there was a Blue Kachina and it was trouble, I don't doubt it.
Okay, well, I think this is it.
Is it blue?
In the mind,
Yes, it is blue.
prophecy, maybe a couple of years off too.
Yeah, it's blue. And maybe the chemtrails have halted the 2012 a little bit.
Maybe it just don't like the Hopi Indians, and that's who it's after again. Maybe you just don't want to be Hopi Indian.
It does feel like shit's coming to an end, son. We all
Well,
feel it.
like I say, they've been trying to instill that spirit exactly in people forever. Doomsday,
But it's just that's
I
not
know,
what it
I
is
know what
for
you're
me.
saying.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But
Maybe
there's
they
been
do
too
that.
much.
Maybe they
People
do
are
that
numb
too.
to it. I'm shut off to that. All the negative programming. If I die tomorrow, I don't give a fuck. I want to fucking shut down NASA. I'd like to see the flat Earth like in people's lives daily and have them know
You
it.
shut down NASA, you get to shut
The
down
rest,
beloved,
I mean, I don't care if the
weather
biggest
control.
comet on
James, that's what they're
Inside of-
doing with all the money. They're controlling the weather and making fucking shitty ass space videos for the entertainment.
Yeah,
The
like
damn-
I say, if a natural disaster wipes us out, I don't give a fuck. We'll have less man-made disasters if we get rid of NASA and these people that are uber rich and uber crazy. I worry more about them than Blue Kachina. At least if you die from Blue Kachina, you're dying from something natural.
Unless it
You know
was
what I'm
put here
saying?
unnaturally.
then who put it there, and why aren't we focusing on them instead of the blue Kachina? If we find them, we can find a way to move the blue Kachina back, right?
Well, we got to get to the center pole. We need to see if they're there. But I think they rule from above. So whoever is at the center pole, I think, is the solid human, whatever.
The
Group.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and the way it is with the rings, if you look at the different Earth models or the different imagery, it looks like there's rings. You know, here we are in this ring, and then you have that ice ring, and then there's another ring allegedly with other continents on the outside of all that.
Yeah, I look at it a bit like it's the crew of Lost that's maybe up in the north, and they actually have the power to do this or that. You know, there is a control. Every machine has controls. They have kill switches, they have control room centers and everything. You know, if the sun and the moon are rotating around a northern point, that might be where their control room is or their origin, you know. So up north, there is something to see.
Okay, well, we need to pull the switch then and stop it.
Like the boys on Lost with that computer, they had to punch in a code and always...
So when we do all this then, and we pull the code, and then here comes our family, and they're like, "You've been dead the whole time, idiot. Don't you notice you've been eating dead meat? You know, like you're zombies. Hello."
Well, the way honestly, I see this where we are now, you know, and every religion has reincarnation. We keep coming back till we get it right. We don't have the right stuff to get to, quote, the true heaven or whatever. We go back to the pool of life and we get reprocessed.
I can't do another 2,000 years of this shit.
Yeah. Well, we were here before, Jibby, and we'll be here again.
I know, but it feels like I've been here forever.
Fuck these people up. We have been here forever.
I can't stand it anymore. I gotta get out of here.
Well, even if you did the unthinkable, you'd be sent back anyway.
I'm not going to do that, but maybe
we have some perfecting and some understanding to do, and some learning. And until we have the right knowledge, we keep coming back.
This blue Kachina's drag could have been the cause of the Great Flood. So many things it kind of fits.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, like I say, you look at the devastation in the Central Africa and the mid-range of Africa. You look at the eye of the Sahara, all that burnt glass from the desert. If you look at the Hudson's Bay, it's identical, except it's full of water, to the concentric circles that made the eye of the Sahara. I figure the same thing. Like I say, the sun may have fallen down, got too low or whatever,
and
or the blue Kachina or something.
Now, are all the extinct species really extinct, or were they moved?
So that's what petrified all those big giant trees.
What, this arc lightning?
Look, those giant trees, I can show you a bunch of the bases of those giant trees that are sedimentary rock, and on top you've got these crystalline hexagonal structures. Tree is a uniform thing. Usually, like a tree
crystallizes. Number one, tree sap crystallizes. I could show you crystallized tree sap.
Yeah, like I say, I don't want to get distracted into giant trees and root stumps, and that's not where I go. That's not where I want to go.
Created again, you may think is sediment could very well be
sediment.
Tree rings. Oh, cut a tree long ways. Oh my gosh, what is that? Grain. Oh no, that's tree sediment.
Yeah, I can show you a bunch of rocks out in Arizona that look like tree stumps, and underneath is absolutely 100% sedimentary rock, and on top is this crystalline rock.
Well, yeah, that's the sap.
All right, yeah, sap made from sandstone. That's petrified, of course, now after all this.
Well, what is amber?
Yeah, like I say, these are speculative. With no proof. I don't have proof either way, and you don't have proof either way.
What's amber?
Amber's tree sap. It's freaking just fucking hardened fucking tree sap.
Okay.
Okay, it's still not red dirt. It's still not red dirt.
James, you're arguing with yourself. Don't do that.
Anyway, like I say, Peach Hay can take giant trees and little portholes in the north and do whatever he wants with them. I'm not buying it. Today, our trees are made of sugar. You know, and I don't see many animals or creatures that are made on silicone-based life.
Okay,
I don't
am.
believe, like the
Look this
story
sugar
says,
up and
that
I'm going
the
to make a
devil
rocket.
changed it to carbon because it's
Anyway.
666, the number of carbon, and everything was silicone based before. You don't find none of it. So, like I say, find
None
a
of it is just
silicone
the
rabbit
North
or
Pole.
something. I'd like to see a petrified silicone rabbit, maybe. I don't know. Like I say, giant trees 60 miles high, I don't go
There
there.
is a glass
And it
rabbit.
helps to, like, whether it's true or not, it helps make the fucking people in the flat earth look like fucking loonies. I mean, they post it in the, what was it
Opposed to
there?
believing flat Earth not making us look like loonies.
Well, 60-mile high trees, yes, does some people would
But just
put that
believing
in.
the flat Earth, we're already loonies.
Crackpot. No, well, no, there's a difference. Flat Earth is a reality. The giant trees are speculation.
So we got flat earthers thinking other flat earthers are loonies. I don't know
You're
what's
fucking
worse.
right. Some flat earthers think some other fucking flat earthers are fucking loonies.
So,
gotta
so
be
we're all
right.
loonies. So
Look,
to
we're all
me,
fucking a bit loony. How can we not be?
right.
But so are fucking Globers. But like I say, like, there are things I buy, there are things I don't buy. 60-mile high trees, I do not buy. I do not buy them.
they
I'm
were
not
60
in that
miles
market.
high. Who said they were 60 miles high? Were you there? Were they there?
The video
Could have
says
been just 1 mile
miles
high,
high.
2 miles high.
Yeah. Well,
60
why do
miles.
you?
I don't think anything was 60 miles high. No way.
Well, okay, 6,000 feet with a 300-foot in diameter base. Be a hell of a piece of spaghetti to keep up. But anyway, like I say, anyone wants to investigate giant trees on flat Earth, they're good to go. I don't stick my nose into that. You find some proof, fine, I'm good with it. Until
I'm
then,
from
it's like
Michigan.
ether.
To have me
I don't
shut
want it. I
down.
don't need it.
I'm from
You know?
Michigan. We have Petoskey stones. Wonder what those are.
We don't know what's underneath all of this settled dirt after the Great Flood. There's a load of shit underneath we're never going to see.
You mine
All
it.
we have is the shit sticking up out of the ground to work with. And the best we can do is to test a lot of these things for petrified wood.
Yep.
And that's about
Once the tests are
best we
done,
can do.
it's yay or nay. And that's it.
I will take samples of Mount Washington and see what I come up with. That's the best I can do. We can't. I don't have the equipment to X-ray the ground to see if there's a petrified root system under these things. I can't do that.
Because again, we have a bunch of mountains in Montreal, around the Montreal area. In fact, a chain of about 5 of them. They were called dormant volcanoes. All the time I grew up, I was taught, educated, they were dormant volcanoes. I went up like Mount Royal, well, anyway, they're not volcanoes. Volcanoes didn't grow up in layers with, seashells and other stuff in it. Stratified. Volcanoes
The
don't
seashells,
produce
that's part of that Great
stratified
Flood.
mountains. That's right. It's not just Great Flood. Electrical storms can cause almost tornadic-like activity.
That's true.
Absolutely. And what happens when you have a vortex and wind and hot electrical heat? Red hot sand is formed. Red hot sand sticks to anything that it touches and builds up. We got the hogs back here. They're supposed to be basaltic rock, volcanic rock. Problem is, there's no volcano for 100 miles from here. There's no volcanoes underneath them. So those were made by the aerial deposition of red hot sand, dust, and stuff that it could pick up and deposit there in a heated state. And it was again, if it didn't come from volcanoes, because ash will not stay red hot over 100 miles. In fact, a couple of feet at best, it's going to start cooling off and not be red hot no more. So, I mean, if it got enough energy to melt sand and dust and grow mounds as high as Montreal and as big as the island of Montreal, which I figure was created basically by an electrical event, a plasma event, then, that's what I think. I'm more on that road. And when electricity produces stuff, crystals, it can produce crystals. Like I say, if electricity was and plasma was a cause of the vitrification of the deserts in Libya and that desert glass and the spots of desert glass out there, and the Eye of the Sahara and some other like smaller eyes 7 miles across out between the Egypt-Libya border, and all these signs are there, then I'm more ready to look at this earth as being carved and created and sculpted by a tremendous event that involved electricity and plasma from the sky, raining fire and just raising ground in some places and lowering it in others, because the cathode will attract and the anode will repel. So if you got dust being heated up red hot and it heads towards a center point or a specific point, it starts forming a little mountain or a little
Well, this is
hill
very interesting. You just kind
or a
of like
tree
made me,
stump.
you made me start thinking about something else. As far as the repelling part, now they obviously want to make us iron blood based. They're putting manufactured friggin' iron in the flakes. This is not even up for debate anymore. So why
Yeah.
do they want iron in our blood? Does this have something to do with maybe now expanding them upon my blue Kachina? Arc lightning on the ground, charging it up, charging the iron grid below, the ley lines and whatnot. Will this now propel us upward? Ah,
Well, that's a good question because it's all magnetic. Now, that's more reasonable a question. You know, do we get pulled up or does the stuff come down on us a bit? I would tend to think it comes down on us.
okay. Does the shit come down and the people who ate their Wheaties go into the sky? Is good
too
thing
much
in the sky,
iron
bad
in
thing in
your
the
diet
sky? Like,
is extremely bad for you, especially for women more so. But too much iron in your diet, and they literally put iron filings in cereal, not just
yeah,
you know
that's what I'm
iron.
saying.
They have machines that shave iron, like old rail ties or don't matter what.
Right, it's a
They
different kind of
screen it.
iron. It's not nutritional iron for
It's real
fucking.
iron. It's iron. It's industrial iron. It's iron. Iron.
Okay, well, that's going to turn us into Wolverine versus Magneto. We're going to get paralyzed,
Well,
like a sleep paralysis. That's what the state we're going to be in when they hit us with something that now activates the magnet, the iron within us. We will literally lock up. They could potentially have a tractor beam hit us attuned to the iron, and then we ride up a tractor beam, paralyzed. These things are possible if we're loaded with iron. You know, these things are not,
well, not that
Star
loaded. I
Trek.
don't
It's
think. You know.
reality. So, do they want us iron based to come by and pick us up with ships, or
Oh,
the
there's too
rescue
much
party?
science fiction and that kind of speculation. I don't know how that's going to prove to a glober that the Earth is
Well,
flat.
there has to be a reason that they're making us more magnetic with the iron. There has to be a reason. And iron based versus copper based.
Maybe they want us all redhead and looking like the Scottish.
Now they say the royal elites are the blue bloods, the copper bloods, the copper diet. But we're the red bloods, the iron.
Yeah, I mean, I've studied my serotology, hematology, and I never saw a copper-based blood. There is a copper-based blood in fish, hemocymine they call it. It's fish blood.
Okay, well,
It's
what's
based
the
on
whole
copper,
sign?
but our blood
Dogon
is.
tribe.
I've
the fish
never,
people.
in all the reading I've ever done, read about a human with copper-based blood. I'm not saying it's not possible.
So maybe they're not lizards. Maybe they're fish.
If the globule can actually fix temporarily an oxygen to its tail, as they call it, and release it for the body's use, it don't matter if it's iron at the center of a hemoglobin or, like I say, hemocymine, copper-based. It wouldn't matter. They'd both work. But I've never seen it in any documentation for human blood. Maybe they're keeping it secret, but I've done a lot of reading.
Well, what if we
I
just
know-
turn
I
to
know.
a copper-based diet, and we all have copper-based diet, and then shouldn't that reverse our polarity with the iron magnetism? They want us. They want the sheeple,
Well, here's
to
what
eat
happened. I
the
mean,
Wheaties and stuff.
one example is if you have mercury nitrate in a solution and you put in copper, the mercury will precipitate out of the water and the copper will go into solution as a nitrate. You replace one thing with another. It's a type of displacement in chemistry. So if they fill us up with a lot of iron, it'd probably be to replace it with another metal.
It's got to be for a reason, and I hate not knowing the reason why they're
Well,
doing these things.
you know, I wouldn't even worry about it. You know, there's water goes under the bridge, and a lot of it. If you're not in a boat, if you're not going to capsize, let it go. You know, worrying for nothing is interest on a debt that you have no.
It's not worry. It's like the puzzle. I got to solve this puzzle. Is it to make us more receptive to the magnetic electromagnetic bullshit around us, the smart meters, the RFID readers, these things? Do they want us more magnetic so they can hit remote read us? Like they already say now, if you're near a certain Wi-Fi, it can give you your stats, your heartbeat, your blood pressure, all this shit based on just reading you, like hitting you with that, which or maybe the iron in our blood is now more receptive to these signals. They're doing it for a reason. I just want to know what the hell the reason is. I'm not worried about it. I kind of trust the force, but I want to know.
Maybe they need it as part of the kill switch. Like I say, fluoride, I believe they use that as a part of a kill switch for life.
Yeah, they're going to have a kill switch. They're going to have
iron might be a part of, you know, what they need to, you know, use the fluoride effectively if they so choose to.
There's lots of purposes to put us the iron in us to make us. They can have so many uses now. Like I just rattled off a whole bunch of weapons that could be used against us now.
Could, you know, that's speculative, you know.
I know, but if I had enough money, I'm gonna hire the smartest, the smartest nerds in those fields, and I'm gonna have them in a private institution build me that shit as a private trillionaire or whatever. Now I have that weapon if I ever need it. Now I schmooze with other trillionaires who run governments, and then we all get together, and now we make a bigger version of these things. And now anybody gives us shit, we can get the individual, we can get the group. You know, hit them with these weapons, and then you kick back, you put your feet up, and you don't worry about a revolt. Because you have all these contingencies. Oh, wait, the storm in the gate. Ugh, all right. And you know, like they're not worried. People are all paranoid. The FBI is going to kick that door in because they're talking about conspiracies. Believe me, they're more than relaxed for a reason.
They run everything. If they wanted to close everything down, they could close it down in a heartbeat. Let's face it. They have all the guns, all the weapons. They give the word. It's done.
Yep.
They don't need any other shit. They don't need cosmic rays and doomsday weapons in space and stuff. They really don't need that.
But they would have it anyway because they always satiate their appetite and conquer and go. They like normal sex doesn't do it for these people anymore.
Yeah. You know, I look at it this way. No matter how you kill someone, they're dead. So does it matter how you kill them? Does it really
you want
matter?
Quick, efficient, effective. You know, you want quick, effective. You know, no worries about it. Like, you know, if you have to give an order, you don't have to worry about them saying, no, I will not carry out the order. You have contingencies all the way to you. I
thought they were supposed to ask us everything, because I hear all the time that, oh, these elite, they have to get our permission to do everything. Nobody asked me if they could genocide the whole population yet. So where's that? They got to ask us for this genocide. I'd just like to know where that is. Yeah, they have to get our permission to do this and do that. They've always, everyone says, oh, they can't do it unless they have like there's some type of like magic code that they have to ask us and have our permission before they fuck us. I don't know where that comes from, but that seems to be a popular flat earth belief and conspiracy belief. They have to have our permission.
Seems to be a loophole. Fluoride is a loophole in that because I don't want fluoride. They certainly didn't ask us. They forced it upon us, and it's detrimental. So that is a you didn't ask our permission, you know, type thing. Mm-hmm. And there's several others, whatever they're spraying, whatever they're doing. They don't ask our permission. They just do it. So that's all bullshit to me until I see proof of it.
Well, I saw one interesting vid. I don't know who posted. I think it might have been Jason Fear Porn, Weather Porn. It was basically the cell towers. There are a bunch of places that are actually banning them. they really do cook people and your meat and cause damage and cancers and stuff. Now, they say that it's 3.6 microwatts per square meter. That's a dangerous level. Well, they were going out with these meters, and there were 2,000 microwatts per cubic meter, which is a few thousand times more than the dangerous level. And, you know, some of these things are giving off that power right outside schoolyards where kids play, and, you know.
Yeah, and I always see these towers right near schools.
Mm-hmm. Basically, for people who don't understand, it can be simplified like this. Jimmy your microwave oven so you can leave the door open and actually turn the power on. Now stick your fool head in there. Now that's where your children are. They're in a microwave oven. There are no walls on it, no doors, no timer they can push to stop the cooking. It's all the time. All of these towers have warnings that you shouldn't trespass, that they are dangerous, that they are harmful. People who work there, even after only a few months on these towers, have eternal headaches, meaning headaches that don't go away, permanent migraines. They get tinnitus in the ear. They get bruising. They wind up being able, they barely touch themselves, and they get like people who have melanoma scarpazi. They get, you know, you touch your skin with your finger and it all turns blue. It's bruised. They get all kinds of stuff, including cancers, and die. Well, these microwaves are no fucking good for you. In a half an hour, you put a chicken in a microwave oven, it comes out fucking cooked through and through to the bone. You know? So, I mean, when your kids are exposed to these, they're cooking.
Yeah.
A little bit every day, all the time.
I used to call it a defrost on 0.0001. You're on defrost. You're not on cook. It's more of a defrost.
Oh,
It's kind of almost an unnoticeable amount, but yeah.
Well, again.
Oh no, not the
if they've
towers.
done
The towers are
tests-
much stronger.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
talking about
okay,
the chemtrails.
Oh,
The chemtrails as the microwave oven lid for the towers, and the chemtrail aluminum and all that. That's the door, and we're all being slowly defrosted.
cooked. Yeah, basically. There are so many waves everywhere. Look, the place I noticed it most was in 2002 when I went to New York. The air is so electric in the streets of New York. You can
Woogie woogie.
hear and feel a buzz. It's
Yeah.
electricity. It's like static. I never felt that anywhere else on earth,
Oh, I
but in
felt
the
it.
streets of New
in-
York.
I felt it in Metro Detroit, so I got.
Is
out.
it big, Metro Detroit?
Yeah.
Is it big like New York?
Well, about 4 million people, I think.
Pretty concentrated, eh? Yeah, that's a lot of buzz. That's a lot of
Yeah, but the
electrical
thing
power
is, they're not piled on top of each other like New
in
York.
New York. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I say, you could
Now,
feel
like-
the electricity in the air. There's
Yeah.
so much.
And when I lived by the military base, it was even worse. And I know a lot of people over there. One of my friends, you know, she's
Look,
cancer, and both my parents have gone through it, and I don't think it's like what they ate or anything like
10
that.
years in South Carolina, I learned there are roads that you can go down. The military can turn off your engine. You're sitting there. It won't turn on until they pull up and find out who you are, and then it starts again. They can do that anywhere. They do that near their bases for their fun, but you could be driving down the highway, any car, they can shut off your engine. They've got a good control, man.
Yeah, they got us by the balls. All right. Conclusion. Now what?
Well,
We
got
keep
more
going after
information
NASA because
to
that's
the masses.
if we go after NASA harder, this is what's held me back for 2 years because I've been this is too easy. What's the catch? You know what I'm saying? I'm like been telling myself this, and it's kind of like the faster we take them down, the faster comes the you know what, the faster they go to the contingency kill switch.
Mm.
Well, it don't matter. It's better to live free or die.
I kind of feel the same. Yeah.
What's the point? If
Right.
you're living another man's dream or as a slave to another man, you don't have a life. You are dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I would rather, not live. I would rather live free for a short time than live a long life of a lie.
Live
and
free
an
or die.
illusion. Yeah, unfortunately.
Philadelphia license plate.
I got to pick a better state, like eat potatoes and relax or something. That's going to be the next day. I don't know. Live free or die. This sounds like I'm heading to dead. I don't know. No, I mean I should be able to live free, right? So
Yeah.
I'm in the granite state. Like it's pretty
Don't
solid.
take it for granted.
Yeah. I know there is little clues like this in the
It's
Matrix,
very
it seems.
electrical conductive granite too. It'll actually conduct electricity pretty well.
It also puts off radiation in the form of radon.
Dude, I mean, I'm in a lightning strike alley.
Why do
I
people
call
want
it.
granite countertops when they have radon coming off of them?
They do?
Mm-hmm. Granite emits radon.
Of course it does.
Yeah, I know that they had this thing with they check people's radon in their basement. They find the gas. You have to like vent it and everything.
Well, that means it must be good for you.
Yeah, and like I say, for me, that's for me. Now that I know the nuclear bombs are hoaxes, and I really believe that the nuclear power plants are big coal burning facilities, I ain't worried about nukes and nuclear radiation or radon.
Yeah,
Look,
that's old news now.
At the worst, things can be, quote, radioactive. All that means is they're taking signals from the air. They're clipping them. They're cutting half the wave, and it accumulates a charge big enough to emit an electron, a radio wave. That's all a radioactive particle is. It's like a cat whisker. A cat whisker is it's radioactive, and it's not even radioactive elements. It's because of the way it behaves when it's hit by waves of electricity or
It's an antenna.
waves. It clips half of the signal and builds up a charge. When that charge gets big enough, it has to follow the path of least resistance, go back off into the air, ground out to something else, send a little spark somewhere.
Okay, build us that free energy machine then.
Well, if you had big enough or enough of these cat whiskers, these galenium crystals, you have your free energy. Just point it at the sky, and it'll produce this forever.
This makes me wish I went to become an electrician because I'd have a better understanding of it and a little bit of engineering skills. I could just start cranking these things out.
Well, you can look it up. The YouTube a cat whisker radio, and you'll see it's just a high impedance microphone and a wire and a little gallium crystal, which is a lead oxide crystal that has a special property. And you ground out one end of the crystal to your sink for the ground, and you take the other wire and you drop it onto the little crystal faces. At some point, you'll get a radio signal because it's clipped half the wave of AC radio waves that are coming in, and you found a place where it's tuned to that radio station or resonates at that particular frequency. You don't find it first time every time, but if you go around the crystal a bit, you'll pick up stations. You'll pick up different stations at different points on the crystal. But that was most people's radio was a cat whisker radio.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and they still work today. If you got a gallium crystal and a little 2000 ohm impedance headphone or earpiece, You can go to your sink and use 2 pieces of wire and just listen to the radio without a battery, without nothing, right through a little piece of crystal. And it's loud enough to hear. So that's sort of free energy. If you can listen to the radio without a battery, without lithium battery, without anything, with just your microphone and a piece of stone, that's free. There's all kinds of radio waves and energy in the air. You clip a sinus style wave, you can use that half of the energy that's left. If you do it right, you can use both halves of the cycle, you know.
Well, that's going to be good to know when I'm in the cave and I become a caveman.
Yeah, you can run an antenna outside your cave and have a cat whisker that's well grounded. If you need to ground to earth, you just pour some salty water on the ground and put a little steel rod in it.
Do you know how to make a battery out of Rochelle salts?
No.
Huh?
No. I know how to kind of hit salt water with radio waves and ignite it for
This
fire.
is going to be my summer project. I'm going to build an enclosed Rochelle salt battery, and I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to do a pour with it, like orgonite, but instead I'm going to make the battery. Because the only thing that really wears down the battery is that the copper and the salts, it wears the copper down. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much electricity going through it. You would say that the copper's tarnishing. Let's go a little further. Like it eats away. Salts do that on metals. But if you enclose it, it doesn't get a chance to oxidize. Aha. I'm going to see how long I can get this thing to work for. Power some lights up.
I'd probably just look for a nearby waterfall and create some kind of a fan blade based turn style to crank out a charge, that type thing.
Oh,
you know what I would actually do? Have you ever seen that oil mixed with iron filings?
I don't think so.
I'm just talking about making a lamp for when there's no electricity.
Yeah, this oil and iron mixture is very heavy but mobile, and it follows magnets. And I figure you could lead it magnetically up a hill to a reservoir, and then as it flows down, harvest electricity. A magnetic pump, if you will. Magnets draw this iron oil mixture to a reservoir on a high location. And when it drains out, it turns a turbine or does what it has to create some power. Could work purely on magnets and height. Because anything moved up to a higher position has stored energy, stored energy like that, a liquid, turn a turbine, you got power.
I'm watching a video here.
I try to move magnetic material uphill with magnets. If you can get a mobile liquid that's magnetic up a hill with magnets only, then it's storing energy. When it's released, it's free energy. It didn't take any energy except what was provided by the magnets to draw upward this metal solution. But there are different ways to look at free power.
I got something I want you to see, Jim. I just checked my email here. I got an email from David Quintana, of all people. Hang on here. I'm checking all my emails here. Shirtless Flat Earther is asking if he can join.
Yeah, I'm sure he can. It's Larry show.
It's just a matter of adding him, which I can do in a sec, I guess.
A good guy. I gotta get a few hours sleep because
I do too,
8 o'clock I have to go downtown, and that gives me like.
Well, before you go, Jim, I want you to check this out. And,
okay.
It is. I don't give a shit anymore. I'll just do it no, I gotta open it in a new window or else I'll feel guilty. I was like, I don't want Larry's to get sniped, but
Well, open it in a private window. That private
that's what I'm saying.
browser.
I'm going to open it in another window, and then all I have to do is share that other window, and I don't have to worry about sharing the Hangout link. It's just a little easy workaround. So when you go back, you don't have to, and nobody will see it. All right. So this kind of relative to what we were talking about with the ISS.
Wow, it looks exactly like Felix's icon. I'm kidding. It's a joke. That was actually pretty funny, but no.
There we go.
So
All
that
right.
is the.
This is for the. This is fair use notice, for the discussion purposes, critiquing. This is STS-135 Atlantis. This is the last STS mission, and the ISS in broad daylight, 7/17/2011.
And this is filmed from the ground.
Yes,
And that's
allegedly.
250 miles up. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Charlie. They're dragging something underneath another plane. That's all they're doing there.
Well,
And-
this is allegedly the space shuttle like hooking up with the ISS.
No,
That's
sir.
what they're trying to say. That they
No.
can see the space shuttle hooking up with the ISS from
Dream.
this
You know how
little
bogus
glowing
this is.
thing here is allegedly the space shuttle.
Yeah, no, this is Hollywood and just toy rocket.
Yeah. Now check out all that atmospheric blurring that makes it look like we're looking through water. Oh yeah, that's right. There is none.
What a fucking cloudless day too. At
Cloudless day, no
6 miles
atmospheric
a
blurring.
second, and there's no, and he's keeping up with it, tracking it perfectly. 6 miles a second.
This
that
should
thing's
look like we're
supposed to be.
looking at it through water.
And it should look like it's going like a bullet. We should only see a
Yeah, you
streak.
can't keep this in frame like that on that kind of a zoom.
6 miles a second.
You
I've
can't-
filmed
th-
cars
this
coming
is-
down
this
a
is a
hill and
ridiculous-
bicycles coming down a hill, and it's hard.
Oh my
Th-
god! And they're
6
actually
miles
trying
a
to say
second.
the thing is shifting and turning and doing this shit while they're docking.
Yeah, like a bald eagle, like an American eagle.
Now, this is where the people get the idea that this is an old bomber.
looks like
some
one
people-
right there.
That's right. And this is where this theory of what is the ISS, they think it's that old bomber flying around. Because,
The
you
flying
think-
fortress.
Right.
It kind of looks like a B-52, but
I can already tell this is fake for several reasons. For one, this shit is like a glowing sparkler in the sky. You cannot resolve it to a point where you're not seeing, you're seeing this level of detail.
so reflective.
For one, look at all the straight edges. This should be looked like we're looking at it through at the bottom of a swimming pool.
Yeah,
like
this is more of NASA's embarrassment, you know.
these are all straight lines.
in
You're
like
looking through water vapor, the entire, almost the entire amount, 3/4 of the atmosphere you're looking through here. The thermosphere with a couple hundred miles left to the exosphere, but still, this should be water vapor. Like,
Well,
it's
like I
just-
say, the shuttle is about as big as a jet airplane, if that. Is it small? It's small as
Yeah.
shit, the shuttle, really. Now, we can't see a jumbo jet 5 miles up, and they expect people to believe, and they obviously did, that 250 miles up, you can see a F-17 Tomcat or F-15 Tomcat or F-17 Hornet. It's almost...
well, that's just that the plane wouldn't be at that 250-mile altitude. That's just the bluff. But even if this plane is at 35,000 feet, 40,000 feet, well, for one, it's not that plane. This thing is like a sparkler in the friggin' sky, and to resolve it, to get such a, like, for one,
yeah, with no
it's
filter, nothing.
center-based light on the ISS. It's at the center, not at a tip. It's like a center-based with somewhat of a TIE fighter looking couple things on the sides here, but it's center-based. Now you have to resolve that bright contrast.
The irony that 99% of the time you see it in their shots of the ISS, it's so fucking clouded over, it's unfucking believable. And in this shot, there's not a cloud in the sky.
Well, it
How
could be early
fucking lucky
morning.
can you get?
it could be early morning, where it is kind of a nice clear sky, but this shit is too crisp. Look how crisp this is.
Yeah, yeah. And it's only early morning for 1/9 of the day 9 times.
This is fake. This is too crisp. For one, we know that this bullshit never got to anything like that altitude remotely. Plus, I already busted it the cartoons that we watched.
Yeah.
So this is nonsense. We know this is nonsense. This is too crisp. There is no atmospheric blurring. They added in a little bit of a glow. It's like a glow deglow, which is
you
supposed
can
to be.
quote me and start using the term, but this is for people who are stuck on stupid. Those that believe this was real and continue to believe it, they're stuck on stupid.
Oh, I want to play it extra slow just to really laugh. And now we're looking through water vapor. Now look how sharp and crisp, bullshit crisp. You telling me that this friggin' focus on this $10 billion camera, maybe it would have to be like in the millions of dollars to have this kind of capability through the atmosphere to grab this thing so crisp like that, allegedly 250 miles up.
And track it at 6 miles a second, 17,500 miles an hour.
Now,
It's
this
ludicrous.
is, what they're making the claim is that how big is the ISS? Like a football field, or slightly less than a football field? I think it's
300 yards. Let's call it a fair 300 yards.
You know what?
They
Let's
always
give it a
claim
football
it.
field.
Yeah.
Now,
Let's give
this
it the
camera,
full 9 yards.
what this camera is claiming to do is to look across the entire state of West Virginia to see a football field this large in the frame. Okay.
Well, we
West
know
Virginia is 250 miles
we know
across.
how disingenuous everything from NASA is now. Like I say, when Vince pointed out De Kuiper looking down on Italy, and the other shot of the same man with another locale just cropped out and pasted. And then later we look at the perspective from the view he had over Italy. He'd have to be 3,000 some miles up, according to Google Maps and stuff, Google Earth. At 250 miles up, the boot is in your face. The boot is in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
You can smell boot.
Everything we examine, we have a very, very good debunk. This is cartoon crisp.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
it's just a joke. Everything they did was a joke. We know now that from A to Z, it was a scam. It really, really was.
No, but look at these fancy VCR controls on this thing. I'm telling you, this is the hi-fi. Look at this hi-fi over here. Hells yeah. We're going to resolve this ISS across the entire state of West Virginia in distance. And we're pulling it in this sharp and crisp with
Wow, there's crisp. Well,
no atmospheric blurring at all.
Mattel Electronics presents ISS Bomber.
Welcome to Intellivision.
Yeah, you remember that, eh? The B-52 bomber? It was the greatest video game ever made. I don't know why it sort of died out.
Wow. Wowie, wow.
The graphics were great.
It's like somebody dropped their antenna. It's like the tornado grabbed the antenna off my neighbor's roof, chucked it in the air. Come on, man. Look how crisp this is.
No, someone grabbed it and chucked it. So it's a Chuck Yagi antenna.
There you go. Or it's a little mini antenna on a string. And there's so many ways
it
to
around.
this.
Yeah. In fact, they're moving the camera. If you did motion tracking on that, I think the object is probably still. And
You know what?
moving the camera.
Right. I'm thinking you're right. This could just be camera movement.
That's exactly what it is.
But it does turn. You see how it's turning now?
Well, it can be on a spindle on a little blue rod or something.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to do this.
Yeah, they're just moving the camera. That thing is more or less fixed in front of them on a blue background. It's not in the sky.
Yeah, because if this thing is moving,
That's why there's no
The way
fucking
this moves
cloud.
across the sky, you're not going to keep it in the
It's not
center
moving.
like this.
Yeah, it's not
It's going to
moving.
be like that. You're going to have to track it with your tripod. Will have to track it. It'll have to be an expensive equatorial
How
type
come it doesn't
tracking.
have any chemtrails in the sky there?
Well, besides all that, this
And the fact is, I think if you had a good enough resolution, you could actually see that it's not actually moving and that it's camera work being done here. And it's all a joke.
No, he's playing
This
it
is
really
terrible. Oh, and they almost lost it from the scene. Oh, that's bad.
yeah, this thing would be moving like it would be like a typewriter. It'd be like tick 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 tick.
Yeah,
tick,
this
tick,
is a
ding.
total joke. You can
Tick, tick,
tell
tick, tick,
you've
tick,
been
ding.
behind a camera a lot. You can tell it's the camera lens that's moving, not that object. The camera's moving away from it now. It's not the object that's moving. In any
Yeah, you
case,
could be
I've had
right.
enough
There's
of
so many ways
NASA
to do
charades
this.
for now. This is a nice one, This is
Now the
really-
space shuttle is not the size of the football field, so they're basically zooming in on a giant school bus. All
250
right, two
miles
school
away.
buses doing butt sex. Two school buses. They're zooming in on at this kind of. So you basically can see across the entire state of West Virginia. 250 miles of atmosphere horizontally. 250 miles of atmosphere vertically.
Oh, NASA got God beat, let's face it. That's the fact of it. NASA's better than God, astrophysics, science.
Well, what the hell is it really?
This is proof that they've surpassed God, and, we should hail them,
Yeah, no atmospheric blurring whatsoever.
God's a schmuck.
Well, no, you don't get atmospheric blurring when you're recording airplanes. I do it all the
I
time.
looked at Boston 70 miles away, and you could clearly see atmospheric blurring. More than this. This
Night
doesn't even
people,
have
I
any.
gotta bow.
He left.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I got some stuff on battery stuff using Rochelle salts. A lot of people do. You can build the crystals and actually make energy out of them. Now, there's some videos on the YouTube that shows them with, oscilloscopes and, the amount of electricity that they're producing, how the voltage or anything and all that stuff. So they've been tested. I would just use that recipe.
Wow, that
Maybe
looks
this is
like
a little.
that looks
this
like
could-
an air show shot on a 3-megapixel camera.
Maybe. Like that does look like a plane.
It does.
don't
It
know how-
definitely
I
looks
don't
like a
know how
dressed
we-
up airplane.
Yeah, how does this, like that perspective, turn into that? Like that's better than a transformer. Oh, I see. These things go like that now. Oh, all right. I
Yeah,
get
it
it.
was winging down. It was
Right.
down.
Right. I get it. Still, this is bullshit. So yet another ISS from the ground video is bullshit.
Who
Because you cannot
recorded
resolve it. This thing is so freaking bright. It glows like a sparkler.
it? It says STS-135 Atlantis and ISS. So what is it? Airplane? Two airplanes together?
Yeah, having butt sex, I guess. But this little stupid ass glowing thing is supposed to be the space shuttle, and this cartoon is supposed to be the ISS. There's
coming down
apparently no atmosphere between us and them. Debunked. Kind of pretty easy. I'm playing this at 1/4 speed.
Yeah.
So we can clearly see the sharpness, the straight lines that are not wavy. These would be wavy as an MFer. Clearly, provable, repeatable, testable, not arguable. I would like to see Antonio bring this up with Charles. Something like this. Charles cannot explain this away. Where is the atmospheric blurring? You're going to tell me refraction is moving in the opposite direction just enough to counteract the atmospheric blurring? Like that is,
Well, if it's
I don't know what else he could
atmospheric
say.
blurring, then it's, got to be a lot lower,
He's going to say something's canceling something else out.
So
That's what he'll say.
10,000 feet.
Yeah, or
less.
something. He's going to say something canceling it out. That's why we see straight lines and no atmospheric blurring. It's going to be some crazy ass excuse like that, which is a pulled out of your ass type thing. And it's not anything you can't even prove that theory at all. So I would just throw it away. I would need something that can be proved, that can be testable, repeatable. I would, and my thing to Boston had atmospheric blurring.
Yeah, it was close to the ground though too. Over the
It was
water.
close to the ground too, but all right, let's. Top of the buildings wasn't close to the ground, really.
That's
Well, it still
2011.
gets thinner as you go up.
Guys
We're still looking through atmosphere, 250 miles of atmosphere,
yeah.
with
Fair.
a very high wind rate.
I think you're looking more at 10,000 feet of a jet airplane.
The wind speeds up there are very fast. Now you have to take into account all those small particles of ice in the ice crystals and shit and water crystals in the atmosphere traveling 60, 70 miles an hour up there. That
Just
is part of the atmospheric blurring.
Yeah, it's just not happening there.
That creates more of the twinkle. You have the atmospheric blurring, and then the ice crystals and such help along with the twinkling. So we have no twinkle. We have no atmospheric blurring. We have straight lines we can see. We're pulling in a resolution across the state of West Virginia. Come on. I don't know, man. It's
What's
goofy.
that?
It's a cartoon. I don't know. There's so many ways to do this, like on a string, like Jim said.
It looks like a couple of people are going to jump off.
A couple of people, what?
It's like at the air show.
Oh,
Walkers.
yeah.
It does, because I've got shaky video like that, on video on airplanes, because they're hard to hold, but that's a lot lower. That it's not an ISS where they say it is, or where they want you to think it is.
Missed call from Dave. Where is Dave? Why isn't Dave on here?
That's what I said. I seen him out in the chat. I said, "Happened."
Yeah, he's on the list. He can join. I
Yeah.
think. No, wait, that's the wrong one. No, that's the wrong one. Where the hell am I?
Let me look.
I can't find where I am here. Where's Larry's camera?
Oh wow. Okay.
Are we off air?
It does say no, we're on. It does say a missed call from Dave. Hi. Dave, just click the link right above where your message is.
Yeah, because I'm gonna bounce soon. And
You are?
if
You're
you
gonna
want to
bounce.
stay
I'm
up,
gonna bounce.
I've already put in like 9 hours on Hangouts today. Like I've
Yeah.
done my shift.
Well, if you want to close Larry's Hangout, we could do that. If they don't happen, I don't know. I'm kind of tired too, but it's been real.
I'm reading something from Kathleen.
They're real.
Having teeth issues, or is it a drinking night? Teeth issues? Do I have your S's
Teeth?
sound? Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. I get what she's saying. I'm laying down, and I've done 9 hours of talking today, so no, I'm not drinking anything. I got 3 more weeks before I can have another drink, I think. I'm trying to keep it like once a month, if that.
Yeah. I cut back on that too. A lot.
So I don't know if you want to. Who's out in the chat? I got a million tabs open here.
Hey, little fellas. What do you say over there? My S's don't sound right.
I can't do Herbert the pervert.
Where's my newspaper, boy? Muscly arms bringing my newspaper.
Yeah. Just kind of losing my voice here. Jaron did a video like that recently where all I could hear was his S's, like he was whistling through a bunch of missing teeth or something. And I just couldn't stop hearing it once I started hearing it. I'm like, I hear that sometimes in different people though. Maybe a little bit of a lisp or a little bit of a crisp, like
Some people connect all their.
IPS. He speaks very crisp. I notice his crispness and his S is a lot. Like things like that I pick up on. A speech patterns, part of like doing
I do
imitations of voices and stuff. I pick up
Yeah.
every little detail like that.
I can hear those things too. We sure have a lot of S's in our language. Like Vietnamese barely has any.
So I guess all the hangouts going on right now are fairly
Pack.
they're high level, high energy, and there's usually like a low key third shift with Felix and Dave High, like type thing. So I don't know, you guys want to do that or you want to go to bed or what? Sometimes I would just sit back and listen to you guys on your third shift. It's nice mellow talk. You know,
Yeah, we do that.
relaxing. It's night time. It's late. We don't need high energy. It's it's early in the morning over there in the UK though.
Who are these
see.
people that are all awake right now, like all hyped up? Like what they do, get up at 8 o'clock and go on hangouts all night? Man,
Oh, it's
quickly
all right,
my
Shroomy.
chip bag here.
So I don't know what you want to do. If Kathleen wants to jump on, if I could throw it out to Shirtless, Flat Earther, Brian
just
Walsh,
fly.
maybe if he wants
You're
to
gonna
jump
rest.
on.
I'm gonna rest too because I got a busy day tomorrow.
All right, so I'll just snipe Larry, I guess.
Okay, well,
That's 2 Flat Earth hangouts I've sniped tonight. Then
there you go. Jibby the sniper. You're going from a
I'm
Jedi.
sniping Flat Earth hangouts more than any other thing.
You're a Jedi.
No, Jim Panda might have to give me a captain status or something on Troll Team 6.
Wow, that'd be like a badge of dishonor if anybody would want one.
Well, I've got more Flat Earthers. I'll have more Flat Earther sniped hangouts than a lot of the, the grunts. Hey man, I've sniped 2 Flat Earther hangouts. Give me some status. Let's see. That's just it. I can't see Larry.
Larry?
Oh, there he is. All right, now I found it. Yep. Now I can pluck him. So I will sayonara, Larry.
Hasta vista,
Wow.
baby. Have a great
Hasta la
night.
vista.
Paka.
Yeah. Oh, did I get rid of everybody? I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, crap. Oh well. So where are we here? I guess that's it for today's performance, folks. Guess you guys could head over to one of the other hangouts that'll be going on, and we'll catch you all at another time. So good night. Shout out to Kathleen, Dave High 108, Shirtless Flat Earther, miscellaneous guests, 6969, Shroom A, Brian Walsh.
I guess her cell phone dropped.
Oh, okay. Well, we got 3.5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You want to take us out with a song?
No.
No, you sure?
I'm singing. Yeah.
Yeah, what your little song? No.
Well, you could play my song.
Shit, I don't have it ready to go.
Well, It's
I guess I pull it up on Skype real quick, maybe, hopefully.
Yes, or maybe I can pull it up. Let's see here.
Shit, where are you on Skype?
Where is anything, buddy?
I got too many people. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh, you said hi to me earlier today. Or was that recently? All right, here it is. Can I get it up quick? Yep, here we go.
I'm playing
The
it.
sun goes round and round, Earth just stands still. The moon goes round and round, Earth just stands still. We know the stars move every day. We'll see them all again next year. Do-do-do-do, do-do.
There.
I was muted. Yay.
So, did anybody hear that?
Think so. It was coming through on volume. It says live.
Okay, cool.
So yeah. I sniped 2 Flat Earther Hangouts today.
Yay!
I never knew Flat Earther Hangout. Yay! I'm doing crank anchors. I'm not making fun of retarded people. It's just the character on crank anchors.
Well, I know
Yeah.
you've wanted to do that for a very long time, so congratulations.
Yep. I'm gonna get some status. I hope now. I'm gonna get some respect.
Respect, man. Of course. Likely though.
No, I don't expect any.
Yeah.
Yep. All your Larry Hangout are belong to us.
Hmm.
Okay, so. This is Shill Team 6.
Oh, maybe we're Shill Team 7.
We got a Troll Team 6. We have to counter them with Shill Team 6.
Oh, okay.
We're all the Shills, so why not?
Okay.
Shill Team 6. We're a big team.